Welcome to the Adult Algorithm Podcast, the How to Adult podcast.
First of all, if you don't have a planner, get one.
I don't know
This
how
ain't
you
high school.
I don't know how you survive.
There will be no sugarcoating whatsoever.
This is the hashtag No Sugarcoating podcast.
And I'm your host, Jasmine Johnson.
You're like the best influence and the worst influence all in one.
Are you ready to grow into your potential? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Adult Algorithm, the How to Adult podcast with your host, Jasmine Johnson. What is up, everyone? Welcome to episode 22. Yep, you heard it, 22. Welcome back to Money March. This episode is so exciting. I had a blast interviewing our guest today and learned so much. Guys, you get out your notepads. Get your computer notes ready. It's class time. Sit down. You guys are going to learn something today. This is like the prime example of learning how to adult and learning about things that we did not learn in school, that our schools did not take the time to teach us, but we needed to learn trigonometry instead, which is absolute, you already know. Okay, so I'm really excited for today's episode. I'm not going to take up too much of your time because I know you love my long intros. However, we have to talk about our small business highlight of the week. And it just, again, so happens to be another entrepreneur who is also our guest for today. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about her small business and then we'll get right into the episode. Jan Mcgregor opened Clean Queens LLC in March of 2020 when she saw an immediate and desperate need for reliable and quality cleaning professionals in her area. Clean Queens LLC is a professional cleaning, decorating, and organizing company based out of southeastern Massachusetts. Clean Queens LLC specializes in move-in and move-out cleanings, spring cleanings, Airbnb turnover cleanings, deep organizing jobs, seasonal decorating, and so much more. Clean Queens LLC is a completely insured and bonded company with great references. Clean Queens LLC will go above and beyond to treat you like royalty. No job is too big or too small. Clean Queens can handle them all. So like I said, Jan did open a business right in the midst and at the beginning of the pandemic, and it still was so successful because she worked hard at it. You'll learn a little bit about that in a couple minutes, but I'm very excited to get into the episode. As we said, check out Clean Queens. At the end, we're going to give all of her social medias of all of her endeavors, and let's start the episode. Here is Jan Mcgregor, who is a realtor, who is an entrepreneur, and a boss bitch.
Hi guys, my name's Jan Mcgregor. I'm 20 years old and I'm a full-time student at the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth. I'm currently majoring in marketing with a minor in international business. Throughout my entire time in college, I've also been a licensed Massachusetts Realtor for the past 2.5 years, and I also just became a licensed Rhode Island Realtor. Yay. Aside from doing real estate, I also own a professional cleaning company that has been up and running for a little over a year now, and I do a lot of Airbnb management as well. So I definitely know a lot about real estate and starting your own business, so I hope you guys really enjoy today's segment.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on. I'm really excited to start asking these questions. The first one is, what made you want to start all of these endeavors and kind of take the entrepreneurial route?
Okay, so back in high school, I kind of was left to fend for myself, honestly. I had nobody to help me pay for my bills and get a car or a phone or pay my insurance or anything like that. So I ended up having to quit all my sports and I just began working full time. So I've actually been working pretty much full time since I was about 14. And then once I was 17 and I wanted to, keep up with my friends and have a car and a smartphone and everything, I was like, you know what, I really have to just take care of my life. So I stopped doing all the social high school things and I went full time to work. And with that, I was, waitressing, I was working at stores, I was just doing a bunch of the stuff that I didn't want to do. It wasn't for me. And I did it for about 6 years. And towards my senior year, I was just what should I do? I need money fast and it needs to be no small change. I need to start getting to the real money now. So yeah. I did an internship program at my high school, which introduced me to a real estate brokerage. And I worked there unpaid as an intern for about a year.
Wow.
And then they paid me to get my license and join their team. So that's what I ended up doing. I mean, it was really a no-brainer at that point. I already wanted to get into real estate just because I do have a passion for homes and helping others. But also those checks, they look real nice. So I was like, yeah, I need to get into this as soon as I can. So I mean, I got licensed right at 18, and that's kind of the story behind my real estate starting out.
Wow.
It definitely, it wasn't easy. I mean, taking the test, it's definitely difficult. It's a lot of adult information that as a adolescent, as an 18-year-old, you wouldn't know anything about it because you've never purchased a home or dealt with loans or
Right.
mortgages or anything like that. So yeah, it was definitely a lot to take in and super overwhelming, very stressful, but completely worth it. I made it through like the course. I did the course online, made it through the course and the test in about 4 months.
Wow.
So that's like a little bit quick. Usually people take about 6 months, but it depends for everybody. I mean, everyone studies differently, and some people have literally taken the test like 10 times before they pass. So like it's a hard one.
Yeah. Good for you. That is fabulous. And I'm so glad that you're such a strong and powerful, independent woman, because that's what we need up in here.
Thank you.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So congratulations on that. First of all, growing up fast, one is not easy. And then adding all of that stuff on top of it, girl, I don't know. I don't know how you do it, but that is beautiful. Thank you for telling us that story. And I guess just to start off with a question that's always on my mind, is, buying a house is a huge goal for, a lot of college kids. It seems far away, but it's really not.
It's not.
It's not. We're 20, 21, and by the time we graduate, 22, 23. So it's like soon enough, our future is already started. So it's like taking that next step. Do you suggest like buying a house right out of college, or do you suggest taking the route of, saving up, get an apartment, then buy a house, and all of that, all of those other routes?
I guess it depends how you make it out of college. So like if you are getting out of college to a full-time job offer, making $100K a year, and you already have some reserves saved up that you were saving through college, then it might be a good idea to invest in a home right out of college.
Right.
The best idea to invest right away would be a multifamily, of course. If you're looking to, not pay too much of your mortgage and make a little money back while, living for free, a multifamily is the best option to do, especially for young people. Getting a first-time home buyer's loan is super, super easy. You only have to put 3.5% down. And yeah, and it's literally amazing. And a lot of people don't know this, but being in school full-time actually counts as work history. So when you go for a loan, you have to have at least a 2-year work history, like a solid 2-year work history of like pay stubs. But if you were in college, obviously, like a lot of college kids don't work full time, so they count it as your full-time work. So if you get out of college and you have a decent amount of money saved up, a decent credit score, and you maintained your schooling for 2 years, you could be ready to purchase a home. But if you maybe were a little lax in college and you weren't saving up as much, and you get out of college and you have no money to your name and you're looking for a job, then yeah, I would probably rent first, because you're not going to want to get yourself into something that you can't handle. I mean, owning a home is a very large responsibility. It's the largest asset you'll ever purchase in your life, whether obviously not your first home, but it's going to be the first big asset you ever purchase. So yeah, everybody's kind of in a different scenario depending on how they behaved during college, I guess you could say. Like some people are, more trying to grow up in college, and some people are enjoying the ride of college. So I guess it just all depends on how you see yourself and where you end up when you're 22 and walking across the stage.
Yep. There you go. Oh my goodness. I definitely did not know that. So that is huge, a huge thing that, everybody better be writing this down right now. What are your top things that you have your clients consider before even looking at homes?
So I always have to make them get a pre-approval first. So that's the absolute, you need it. It's a necessity to be able to bring them into any homes. You have to have a pre-approval letter from a mortgage lender. So that's their first step. Once they have that, then they actually are eligible to purchase a home. So after that, then it gets down to the fun stuff, things that they like, things that they don't like. But I also like to kind of get serious with them and let them know, like, okay, let's say your pre-approval says you're pre-approved for $400,000. And with that, the down payment would be, let's see, about like $18,000 to $20,000. So let's say they have $20,000 saved up exactly. Like that's all they have. They're like, oh, we're ready to buy the house. We have $20,000. That's enough for our down payment. Nope. Hold on. You're not ready, because you also have to pay for your closing costs, which usually are about half of your down payment. So usually around maybe $8,000 to $10,000. So you need to have reserves built up for those closing costs. You also need to pay for the home inspection, which is usually ranges about $400 to $600, depending on the size of the home. You also need to worry about, usually first-time home buyers, you're not going to get a brand new home. So there might be some projects you need to do right away or within the few months that you purchase the home. So you also want to have a little bit of money saved up for some repairs and some renovations if that's the type of home that you're going to be purchasing. So I always try to get my buyers prepared to know that they don't just need their down payment. They need probably about double their down payment to start off with their home and have a good, safety net. So when they move in, they still have 3-4 months left in their bank account to pay their bills, just in case something happens. Like, what if you lose your job? What if you break your leg? What if something happens and you need to pay your mortgage now? You're not renting anymore. Now you have a mortgage. Now you have homeowners insurance that you have to pay. Now you have taxes that you have to pay to the town. So there's a lot more things you need to take in consideration when you're a first-time home buyer. So it's like, you don't want to just have the bare minimum saved up. You want to have a really safe number saved up 2 or 3 times what you think you'll need, honestly, to be realistic. And yeah, that's usually how I preempt my buyers before we even see homes, just so they're prepared, they know. Another really important thing to know when you're getting ready to purchase a home, don't make any other large purchases, okay? This is one of my number one keys to success, because it's happened to one of my buyers before and he lost the deal. So let's say you get pre-approved for your loan, you get $400,000, your credit score is at 800, you're doing great, your income's great, whatever. So I have that pre-approval in hand. We start seeing houses. We take about 2 or 3 months seeing houses. You find one you like, you put in an offer accepted, we're under agreement. In the meantime of those 3 months, you purchased a car for $20,000. That got added to your credit. That got added to all of your records. So now your credit dropped. Now your debt to income ratio dropped. So now what are you doing? What are you doing here? Why would you purchase a home? Why would you purchase a car right before a home? Some people think that makes sense. That does not make sense at all. You should wait until your home is purchased, you are settled, you have your furniture, you have everything you need. Then a couple months later, go out, buy whatever car you want. But it's such a no-no to buy any large purchases, even if it's like a $2,000 like purse. Don't buy it, because anything you're like putting a payment down and then paying monthly, don't do it. Don't do it. Unless you want to buy something, you buy cash.
You don't get that on your credit score.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it for what I usually like prepare my buyers with. It's like, you need to have your money saved up, usually 2 or 3 times what you initially think you should have, more than your down payment. And then you need to not make any big purchases. You need to, live frugally for that year where you're about to purchase your home, so that you have that nest egg of money saved up, so you can do the things you want to do once you have your home.
Awesome. The next question was going to be like, how do you get started and what's the process? But that's pretty in detail. Is there anything outside of that is part of the process, would you say?
Shopping around for your mortgage, like that's definitely important. There's definitely different rates at different lenders. I usually give my buyers my preferred lender and let them communicate. But if like they don't like what they're pre-approved for, or they don't like the rate, they can obviously go and shop around to different places. They're more than welcome to do that. I definitely would tell people, like, if their people aren't sure on an area, like if they're like, oh, I like this town, but I also like that town, I tell them to go take a drive around, like literally go drive around the town for an hour, stop into the stores, stop into the restaurant, just, feel the vibe out and see if that's actually a community you could see yourself living in. And if, maybe one neighborhood isn't your favorite, but another one is, then we could, focus our search on that area. Like I really try to make my buyers be well aware of what they're getting themselves into, so that the whole thing doesn't fall on me. Because yes, I am your realtor. Yes, I'm helping you. I'm your resource, but this isn't my house at the end of the day. This is your house and you have to be happy with it. So for that to happen, you need to know every single thing about this process and the town and the home and what your style is, so that at the end of the day, we can reach the end goal of getting the dream home that you're looking for. Because My job is just to handle with the stress and the paperwork. Your job is to actually find what you really like. So,
Cool.
I mean, I help you in the process, but you actually have to have like a vision. You can't just go into it like, oh, well, I kind of like ranches, but then I like colonials. Like, no, that's not what it was.
That's nothing.
Yeah, like you have to like have it in your mind, like what works for you, your family, and just make it realistic to your lifestyle.
Cool. If you don't mind me asking you, what is your current like situation? Like, do you have a home? Are you renting? Like, what is the path that you've taken so far?
So, being self-employed on a 1099, it's a
Yeah.
little bit tougher to get approved for a loan. Last year I got approved for about 200,000, and that's a really small loan.
Right.
You can't with today's market, you really can't get much for 200,000. So I was like, I'm just gonna hold off. And I was currently living in my mom's old home, and she was living out in at her fiance's house. I've lived by myself since I was 17,
Mhm.
but I've always lived in my mother's house and just paid her like the rent.
Right.
And then like the market was so good, I was like, Mom, like I can't live here anymore. I need to sell your house. Like it's like we're leaving money on the table. Like we need to sell
That's
it. It was a
awesome.
huge 4-bedroom, 2-bath, almost half
Wow.
an acre of land. Like I could not take care of it.
Where?
In Fairhaven.
Oh,
Yeah. So anyway, I convinced my mom to sell, and she was like, well, you need somewhere to live. Like, where are you going to live? Like all this stuff. I found like condominium over in Dartmouth at this brand new building, and I got approved right away. And I literally sold my mom's house and moved into my condo within like a month.
oh my God.
Yeah. Like it was just like, it was a no brainer. And like, I don't know, like I wasn't anticipating moving to Dartmouth. Like that wasn't really where I wanted to move to. I would have stayed in Fairhaven if I could have, but
Right.
there isn't really any like large apartment buildings in Fairhaven, and Dartmouth just built like a few. Like it was built in 2018. Like it's
Wow.
so I was like, yeah, like that will work. And like at the time I had my dog and my cat, so I was like, I needed a place that could have pets. So like that's just where I ended up. I'll probably be there for like a year or two more, just while I save up, and can get actually a good pre-approval to buy a multifamily.
Yeah.
But so that's my goal. Like if I could have already purchased a multifamily, I would have. Like I have the savings, I have the credit. It's just the work history for me. Like my income's very inconsistent because I write off a lot, and it's tough. So I think by 2022, I should be able to get a heftier pre-approval where I'll be able to purchase. So right now I'm just hanging out renting, but that's not where I want to be.
Right. Girl, you're getting there. You're going to be there in literally zero time.
Just 1 second, girl.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, so this is like a normal day for me. Like I was supposed to be at home right now, but then my one of my clients was like, "Oh, we're sending Geek Squad over to the Airbnb. Like they're gonna be there between 12 and 8." I'm like 12 and 8. I'm like, that's an 8-hour shift. I was like, I can't be like around for what. So I literally left where I am right now. I left here at 12, got to my house at 12:15. I literally am getting in the shower. He's calling me. Oh, they're on their way. They're gonna be there in 10 minutes. I was like prepared to like do the Zoom at my house, like do everything. I jumped in the shower, jumped out, grabbed my laptop, made it here. He was already here. He just did whatever he did. Can't fix it. I don't know what the hell's happening. So like I'm just like, okay, cool. Call the owner. Like let him know.
Oh my gosh, that is literally wild. Your Airbnb, like, do you rent them out? Like, how does that work?
So I have 8 Airbnbs that I manage. They're not like I don't own them. All of them are owned by different property owners, and basically they just hire me to handle the bookings of all of them and like quirky like property management details. Like for example, like the hub that connects the keypad to Airbnb to put the renter's codes in is down. So here I am. Like I do like little shit like that, and then I just get paid off the reservation cost. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so I definitely, it's my 4th year doing that.
Wow.
Yeah, I started doing this fresh out of high school. Like I wasn't even licensed yet.
Iconic.
So, yeah, it's like it's so much. Like I like it. I love it. Like I'm so happy tourists are coming to the area and like contributing revenue to the town and everything like that. But it's like in the summertime, it's like it's insane. Last summer I did 160 reservations.
Oh my gosh.
In 6 months.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So girl, I'd be like my head be like falling off. I'd be confused. Like
wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm sure you're kind of wondering why I started my cleaning business. That's why I started my cleaning business. So the first 2 summers I managed these Airbnbs, we had other cleaning services and they were absolutely terrible. Like literally every single time a guest would come in, they would have a complaint, there would be a problem. And like, I couldn't handle it anymore. Like I was just like getting fed up with like yelling at them basically. So I was just like, you know what, either I can find a new cleaning company or I can just start my own.
Yep.
So girl, I just started my own. I was like, might as well, I'm going to double my profits and make all my guests happy. So that's literally what I did over the winter of 2019. Over the winter, I like planned everything out, and then 2020 January, I opened it. And last summer, we handled all 160 reservations. We had 1 complaint.
Wow.
1 complaint. I was so happy because before that, we were like a complaint every other reservation. So I was like, okay, it worked.
Yeah, it worked. That's awesome. I mean, that's the entire point of building business, right? Literally solving a certain problem. So it's like, I was looking at your like cleaning service Instagram. I'm looking around my room. I'm like, oh no, I need to clean. This is bad, embarrassing.
People always say that too. It's just like, I don't know. I've always loved cleaning. I never like imagined becoming like a cleaning business owner. I always know I wanted to own a business, but I didn't think it would ever be cleaning. And like, it just like, I don't know. It just made sense.
It works.
Yeah. Like I just had to do it. Like, I don't know. I just had to do it. And now that I like am doing it, I was like, actually, you know, like I always liked cleaning, but I'm like, I actually like love cleaning. Like I like love it. Like,
how big is your team? Is it just you or is it like a couple of you guys?
So I've had up to 5 employees. Right now I only have 2. I have 2 full-time employees right now. So yeah, that's like probably the toughest part of like the business and like owning a business and running it is like employees, keeping employees and finding employees, because like literally like finding good help right now, or honestly maybe ever, is such a task. Like people don't want to work and they just want money. So like, it's just like, I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not like that. I'm such a hard worker. So it like aggravates me. But yeah, I went through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I went through 7 employees and I have 2.
Oh my God.
But it happens. Like, girl, it happens. Because I hired a lot of friends.
Yeah.
So that's when shit hits the fan, girl. So yeah, so I learned my lesson on that. It's all things like that though. Like I tell people all the time, like I'm still learning how to be a boss. Like I'm 20 years old. Nobody taught me at school, like, oh, this is how you own a company and run it. Like nobody teaches you that. So it's like I learn as I go and I do what I think is best, what I think is ethical. And it's like, it's hard. And that's what I tell my employees. I'm like, girl, like you need to work with me just as much as I need to work with you, because I'm building this business, I'm learning it. And if you're not okay with that, then this might not be the right job for you. If you want to work at like, you know, like a Dunkin' Donuts where everything's already ironed out and like set and good to go. But like, there's going to be things changing around here all the time because I'm still improving, I'm still growing. So it's just like, if you're not okay with that, then it's not going to work. But the girls I have now are like, they're super cool, super understanding. Like I treat them really well. I pay them really well. So they're fine with the way I run things. They're like, oh, like you change the schedule, like it's not a big deal. Like I'm like, I have to, like these clients are canceling, like I don't know. But yeah, it's important to have good help that are like understanding to your circumstances, your business model, how you're running it, because if you don't, like they will be your downfall. Like they have been. So
yeah. Oh my goodness. We are learning so much today. Oh, this is so exciting.
I can take my mask off now. He just left. Like,
love it. That's awesome. Has it been tough during like COVID with all 3 of like your endeavors?
So kind of, yeah. Actually, yeah, really hard. I like try not to think about it because like I hate COVID so much, but yeah, it's been like actually really hard last year. So this business, like Clean Queens, did not like get off the ground until March of last year. So that was exactly when COVID hit. Like literally like the week COVID hit, I did like my first job.
Right.
So like
it was like spring break.
Yeah, I was like freaking out. Like I was like, what the ooh, I'm not swearing.
You can swear, it's fine.
I'm like, what's gonna go on? Like what, like I just started this business. I just spent like $3,000, $4,000 starting this business, and now like it's not even gonna work. Like what am I doing? Because people were canceling left and right. Like they're like, we don't want anyone in our house, or we're home from work, our kids are home. Like there was obviously like infinite excuses because people had all different scenarios, which like I'm 100% like understanding. I don't want to get anyone sick or have someone get me sick. So I'm like, no worries. But at that point, it was just like I was making zero money. Like I was like, I don't know what to do here. So I kind of just toughed it out, honestly, girl. Like I didn't know there was no other option. I toughed it out for a couple months, and then like once like May hit, people were kind of being more like conducive to having people come in their house now again.
Yeah.
They weren't as like freaked out about COVID. And like obviously we started with the PPE, like we're all wearing masks, we're all wearing gloves, like extreme disinfectant going on. So it's just like people were more comfortable. And then that's when I started like building my client base. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it was tough. Definitely like getting those like consistent clients, like those bi-weekly, monthly, weekly clients, like that was hard building that client base. But as soon as summer hit, I had all my Airbnbs to handle anyway. So I was pretty good, even though because of the COVID, in June last year, Massachusetts, like Charlie Baker, he like released a thing where like nobody could come to Massachusetts unless they had a COVID test or if they were from like Rhode Island or like New Hampshire. There was like a few states that were an exception. But when that happened, I had to cancel like 50 reservations because all these people were coming from like Florida, California, Texas, like Arizona, wherever, like any state that was not in the Northeast. They were like, I had to message all of them, tell them the COVID guidelines, tell them if they are not willing to get tested right before they come, then they have to quarantine for 2 weeks in Massachusetts, which like most of their vacations are like a week. So it's like,
Right. So
you can't do that. So yeah, like over 50 reservations canceled. So at that point I had a wide open schedule for 8 houses and I had to refill that within a month. So yeah, that was definitely that made me want to rip my hair out. But again, I filled most of the dates. We got it done. Like I probably had like 5 or 6 like open nights last summer, all summer out of 8 houses. So it's like I always freak out because I'm like, how am I gonna do this? And then I just do it. Like I don't know. Yeah. But real estate has been up and down. Real estate's weird. Right now the prices are super, super high right now. So it's an insane seller's market. I definitely did a lot of sales in 2020. 2021 has been a little bit slower just because I'm not the type of realtor to like lie to you. Like a lot of realtors just want to like get money and like that's it. I like to like, keep people's best interests in mind. And right now I feel like buying is absolutely the dumbest thing you could do right now because the prices are so high and you're going to buy with 0 equity and you're probably going to default on your mortgage next year. So whenever people come to me trying to buy right now, I'm telling them honestly, like I would wait 6 months. I would wait a year. For your circumstances, I would wait because you're not going to get a home for a fair value right now. And you're going to be overpaying for your mortgage and you're going to have to refinance down the line and like figure your life back out because you paid $100,000 more for a home than you were supposed to. When I tell people that, they're like, oh my God, are you serious? Like the other realtor I talked to was like, let's go home shopping. And I'm like, of course they are because they want to make that extra $2,000 of commission because the house is selling $100,000 over fair value. Like, of course they do. Why would they not? But I'm not like that. I don't want people to fail at life. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, I'll wait a year to work with you. I don't care. I don't want you to get into this and not be able to handle it. Like, because it's overpriced. Yeah. So because of that, my real estate has slowed down a little bit over the last few months. I mean, I sold a house last week. I still have a house on the market right now, but other than that, I'm not really taking buyers right now just because of that. And I'll probably start picking up buyers again, like in the summer when prices start to hopefully drop, but we can't really anticipate the real estate market. So
never.
It's tough. So yeah, but I mean, COVID has overall definitely put a fork in things. Like we're definitely trying to maneuver every obstacle right now, which it's tough, but it's like everybody else is doing it for all of their jobs and their lifestyle. So it's like, you know what, you just have to do it. Like you have to figure it out and get around it. And I've got around it.
Yeah, love that. Oh, that's awesome. Patience and consistency will literally get you anywhere and everywhere. And it keeps you on your toes, which is crazy.
Absolutely.
Do you like have free time for yourself ever? Like what do you do that you actually like enjoy outside of work?
Okay, there's a lot I like to do actually. And I do actually have a decent amount of free time because my employees work a lot. So like if I don't have to go to a cleaning job, like usually like my day doesn't have like a crazy amount of stuff in it unless like I have a lot of like Airbnb things going on or like I'm like I don't know, like my days are so weird. Like every day is completely different. But for free time, like I usually don't work on the weekends. Usually. Sometimes I'll have to fill on a Saturday or Sunday or do a showing or whatever. But usually I don't work on the weekends. I like to travel a lot because of that. So I'll take like little weekend trips. Like this weekend I'm going to New York City. Like I just like to like get out and like just like see other places. That's like one of my favorite things to do. I love like photography. I love taking pictures. I love working out. I work out like almost every day before I get to the bag. Like in the morning, I have a personal trainer, which has been super helpful.
Wow.
I like making like Instagram TV videos, like kind of.
Oh, girl, don't even get me started. I love them. I used to, oh, girl.
Really?
I love, you're saying, what do you say? Oh, it's Jan with a plan, making more than your man. Girl, I was like walking around the other day, kept saying, I was like, oh my God, this is genius. Like, why is she such a genius? This is hilarious.
When I thought of that, I literally like it just came to me. I was just like, oh my God, because my name rhymes with like every word in the whole universe. So
Yeah.
I was like, Jan with the plan, here to teach you how to make more than your man. I was like, that goes just so well. So I just went with it. But like I like making those, but they're so tough. Like you probably know,
Yeah.
like with like editing and stuff, like man, bro, like I can't.
I want more. Give us
Like,
more.
I know. I need to make another one soon. All right. I made a vlog like 2 weeks
Yes.
ago, or like maybe like actually probably like 2 months ago at this point. I made a whole vlog and then like it would not post to my Instagram TV. I tried like 8 times. So I was like, I was like, maybe this vlog is not meant to be posted.
Why don't you make a YouTube channel? Oh my gosh.
I don't know how to like use it.
You would fly. TikTok? Do you have a TikTok?
Okay. TikTok, I've really been trying, but like I hate making them. I really hate making them.
Oh my
Like,
God, that's such a shame. You would.
I know. I like so tried to get into it, but like like people's TikToks make me not want to do TikTok because they're so good. Like people's TikToks are so like smooth and like perfect, and I'm just like, okay, like my
Yes,
TikTok
please.
literally looks so choppy, and like the words aren't even in the like right like time period. Like I'm like, I can't. Like it's just if I had someone to make my TikToks for me, there we go.
Yeah, that would be bad.
I
Yeah.
need like a TikTok video, YouTube like person to follow me around.
Oh my gosh, you would freaking excel. It's gonna happen. We're manifesting it.
I know. I need to. I tried. I really did try to get into TikTok. It just like was not my thing. I was
Yeah.
like,
You're like, please, no. No, I get it. It's a lot. It really is. Yeah, the editing is wild sometimes.
it's the editing for me. I'm just moving because I need to plug my laptop in.
Sure.
Oh my God, do you want to see where I am right now? It's so
Yes,
pretty.
I was about to ask. It's really nice over there.
Can you see the
Oh,
water?
wow. You're kidding. Wow, that's wild. That's
360
really nice.
views. Yeah, it's so pretty.
That is really nice. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so this is an Airbnb and like there's nobody here right now. Nobody checks in until like April. So
Wow.
fine tuning some things.
Say less. Say less. You're gonna see my name on a reservation soon. Watch.
You should. Oh my God. Have you ever been down here? Like where are you from?
I'm from Warwick, Rhode Island. So when you
Oh.
said you got your Rhode Island's license, I was like, snap.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know Warwick pretty well. I have a lot of family in Cranston.
Yep. Literally right next to there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't really go there too often.
Yeah. Is that where Kyle's from too?
Yeah. Yep. We
I
live
had no
about
idea.
10 minutes from each other, 10-ish minutes. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know why I thought he was from Mass. I just feel like everyone that goes to UMass is from Mass.
Yeah, pretty much, which
Yeah,
is so funny.
But yeah, Fairhaven's probably like a 45-minute drive to Warwick.
Yeah. Is it right next to Dartmouth?
It's so Dartmouth is right here, and then like New Bedford's right there, and then Fairhaven's right there.
Oh,
It's, like,
okay.
one town over.
Yeah.
But pretty. It's like I live like 15 minutes from like any of places I need to go in Fairhaven.
Yeah. That's convenient.
Yeah, it's not bad. But I used to live like 5 minutes away. So.
Oh, yeah. You sound like a Rhode Islander when you say that. That's funny.
Really?
Yes. Because we're like, 15 minutes? That's so far.
Yeah, no, it is.
I love it. My next question is, what do you think is like the biggest misconception about buying a home? If there are any at all.
The biggest misconception about buying a home. I think that, the biggest misconception that realtors put on buying a home would definitely be like, you're going to get everything you want. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not, unless you have an unlimited budget. Because that's not realistic. Like, especially for like, I feel like this episode's more engaged to like first-time home buyers that like have never done this before. So like, if you're working with a realtor and they're like, I'm gonna make this process so easy, like you're gonna have your dream home, like life's gonna be magical and great, like that's a misconception because like they might not even know what they're doing at that point, because it's like I said, if you don't have an unlimited budget, the sky's not the limit, and you have to, work within your means. I mean, like I said, a lot of first-time homebuyers end up in like fixer-uppers where they have to do renovations and a little bit of repairs, and like that's fine. Like that's fine. Like you are building equity in your home. Like if you buy a flipper, a fixer-upper, you buy it for $200,000 or something, and you put $50,000 into it. Now you have a $300,000 home.
Right.
Like it's honestly like a lot of realtors try to convince you to do new construction and like do stuff like that, but you're paying so much because the building materials are insane right now for a price. So it's just like, I would say the biggest misconception is honestly to buy new instead of buying old, because a lot of people think that that's where the value is when it's not. The value is in whatever you make it in. You buy an old home and you put work into it. Now it's invaluable. Like the value raised double what you put into it. So I guess that would be a big misconception, but that's a good question.
Those were really good. And it's like, you never know until I feel like it's over. Like you said, if you don't know somebody's not a good like realtor until after, when you're like, wait a minute, why didn't I know about this? Or wait a minute, there was this option out there. So
yeah. And it's like buying a house is like easy and hard at the same time. Like I feel like it's more stressful than it is hard. Like getting your stuff together for your pre-approval. Like, yeah, you have to go back and like get your tax returns and like documents together just to like prove like your finances or whatever. Like, yeah, that could be stressful, but is that hard? No, that's not hard. People just, a lot of times people around our age get very overwhelmed with stressful tasks, but that does not mean that they are hard.
Yeah.
They are very achievable. You just can't be lazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like, it's up to everybody, like on their own. Like if you want it, you'll get it. If you don't, it's that bad, you're probably not going to get it.
Yep.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. And how important is it to build your credit up before buying a house?
Super, super important. Most lenders won't even look at you unless you have at least a 700. So 700, I believe, is fair, or maybe making it right into like the good range. Good is like, no, I think maybe good is like 720. Great is like 760, and then like perfect is like 800 plus. So you want to be at least at 700 before looking to qualify for an FHA loan. I'm sure you could get approved at like a 680, but you're going to get a higher interest rate probably, and you're going to probably get approved for less. So I would say the best interest for anybody is, let's say your score is at like a 650 right now and you want to buy within 2 years. I would, take those 2 years and build your credit up to 720, 730, whatever you can get it to, and kind of be patient with yourself. I tell people all the time, like credit is a journey. Like you are on a journey. Like it's not something that you're going to wake up tomorrow after paying your credit bills and like your score is going to go up 100 points. It's not going to happen. Like you have to be very consistent and patient with yourself so that you can build that. It's literally like credit. Like it's not even just for like a credit card. It's like your credit as a human. Like you get credit for paying your bills. So like if you do that, then like it's not going to take that long. I mean, I'm almost 21 and I have a 780.
Wow.
So it's very achievable if you put your work in for it. So it's like, same thing, if you're going to be lazy and then you actually, you don't really want that house, or you don't really want that loan for your car or whatever, then you're not going to achieve it. But if you have those goals in mind and you're really, really like focused on them, then you will work on your credit, because that's one of the 3 big things you need to get any loan, not even just a house. If you want a newer car, you're going to have to show them your bank statement or your credit and your usually income. So it's like, you need it. I don't know. Like, I feel like people around our age don't stress about their credit enough. Like they're just like, oh, like they'll be like, oh, I need to get a credit card. And I'm just like, we're 21. Like you don't have a credit card. Like, I don't mean that to be rude. It's more like confused. Like I'm in confusion. I'm like, why don't you have a credit card? And they're like, oh, well, like, I'm just doing this. Like I have my debit card. Like I always have money on it. So like, I'm just gonna like wait until like I need credit. I'm going to wait till I need credit. That's what I hear all the time. I'm going to wait until I need it. I'm like, well, when you need it, you're not going to have it because you haven't been building it. Like people don't understand that. And that's because credit's not taught in school. You don't learn these things. I don't even know everything I probably should about credit. I just like on my 18th birthday, I just got a credit card. I literally was like, screw it. I'm going to get a credit card and see what happens. And that's what happened. And now I have like, I don't know, like 5, like it's just like, that's how it goes. So you just keep going up and getting approved for better cards. But like people, it takes a long time. I've been working my credit for almost 3 years now, and now it's good. But like it started off like 200 points lower. So it's like people are like, oh, like I'm gonna wait until I want to buy a house at 25. I'm gonna get a credit card when I'm 24. Like no, like get a credit card now, and then by the time you're 25, you'll have an 800 credit score, and you'll get a super low interest rate. You'll get a better down payment. The lenders will look at you, and they'll be so happy to work with you because you have great credit, and you're a pleasure to work with at that point. So yeah, credit is very important. I hate when people don't care about their credit. It really
sad.
me. And you could ruin your credit with like a big purchase, like a car or whatever. That's why the not buying anything big before purchasing a home is really important too. Like you should not be splurging on yourself if you can't, maintain a decent credit score and be able to purchase. I mean, if that's your goal. If your goal is not to purchase a home, then do whatever you think is best. But if your goal is to purchase a home, then you should be worrying about your credit more than, bragging about having a Mercedes Benz or something like that. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yep. Totally agree. That's so true. Do you think that, building your credit is the hardest part about starting to, look at and buy homes, or what do you think is the hardest part about it?
I mean, it's hard to answer that because everybody's situation is so different. I mean, I know a lot of people have a really hard time saving money, and like that could be their like absolute downfall. While they might have a 800 credit score, they might only have 5,000 in the bank. Like it's different for everybody. I would say credit is probably the most like relentless process in like getting ready to purchase a home, just because you have to stick at it for years before it can, until your score can flourish into what you want it to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think it'd be different for everybody. I mean, the three things: keeping a job for 2 years, that could be extremely difficult for some people if they, aren't the type of person that are agreeable and they quit a job when something doesn't work out for them. That could be really hard for somebody to keep a 2-year job history, or to, build credit or to save up enough. So I think it just depends on the person and like their priorities and their personal. I mean, everybody's so different. So like,
yeah,
I would say for myself, the hardest part for myself in purchasing a home is literally my work history. It's so all over the place with being self-employed that like it's tough for me to get qualified, but I do have a great credit score and I do have a lot saved up. So it's like, what I'm saying? It could be the opposite for somebody else. Well, it's this for me because it's just because what my career path is. Like if I had the same amount of money saved up and the same credit score, and I have been working as a manager at Walmart for the last 2 years, making $50,000, which is like less than what I make now, I would be pre-approved for a decent home loan.
Wow.
It does not make sense at all. It's just that my income is very crazy.
Yeah.
And I write off a lot. So yeah, it's just a lot different.
Wow. That's really tough because like a lot of people, they go to school to be entrepreneurs and then they don't know this is like the reality of it at the end of the day. So it's like so important to look into that stuff before considering, this type of career. So that's really important. In the last episode too, like we were talking about taxes and how as a 1099 employee, even taxes are a lot more difficult with deductions and credits and, what you can and can't do and everything. So it's.
Oh yeah. I pay back so much money in taxes.
Wow.
It's not fun at all. Like I'm doing my taxes next week, actually. I usually wait until like the last, like possible.
Yeah.
Because like.
I don't blame you.
I'm usually paying back like at least $10,000, if not more.
Oh my God. Wow.
So yeah, this year probably be a little more.
That's wild.
But it makes sense. I mean, for real estate, a lot of people don't know this, but when you get your real estate commission, you are not taxed on it upfront. So like, let's say like you make $5,000 off a home. That's what your check is. It's $5,000. And then at the end of the year, you pay that back for taxes.
Wow. What?
Yeah. Like you'll pay back. It depends on like how much you end up making like overall in commission, and like you move up in different brackets and like different percentages. But I believe like it starts off at like 20% of your earnings, and then it just moves, or maybe 15. I don't know, either 15 or 20, and then it moves up from there. So like if you are making $1 million in commission, like you're gonna be paying back like 100,000.
Yeah.
Like easy. I did not make $1 million in commission. No, but I'm just assuming. But yeah, so yeah, taxes are tough. But for most people, like if I was working like I said, like a manager at Walmart or something, I would be getting taxes
Getting money.
back. Yep. Yeah. So it's so different. I mean, everybody's like lifestyle and like the choices they make are like completely what sets you up to purchase or not purchase. And it's like everybody's situation is so different. So that's why there's so many different like loan programs and like, because like if I was living in Florida, if I was living in Georgia right now, I would have already had my house because they do bank statement loans. They can go off your bank statement and approve you based on what you have in your bank. Up here in Massachusetts, and I believe in Rhode Island as well, they don't do that. You have to, you know, get pre-approved and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, it's different in every single state. So like if you have listeners in other states, like that's good to know. Like people, you literally can, it doesn't even matter what your credit score is or what your work history is. It's literally a loan for entrepreneurs. Like you can get pre-approved and purchase a home based off what you have saved up liquid cash. So if that was the case, I would have a house.
Wow. Oh my God. Come on, Mass.
But I reside in the state of all the rules. So
all of them.
All of them.
What is your like proudest moment as a realtor? So far. I know I've had a couple accomplishments, so like
okay. I have like two, I guess. My first one was over last summer. I had an Airbnb client come to me and she told me that she wanted to sell her Airbnb. Like she wanted to sell that property. And she told me that she's going to be interviewing me and then another broker, which like, I thought that was rude because like I had been helping her with this Airbnb for the past like 2 or 3 years. And I was just like, shouldn't you just like use me? Like whatever. But like, I didn't say anything and I was just like, okay, like that's fine. Like whatever. Anyway, she ended up using me and like, that was great. And then the property was under agreement within 24 hours and I had brought the buyer as well. So when you bring the buyer, but like this was just like a kind of like a lucky situation. I can't really take credit for like all of this because like God was on my side here. Like I put the listing up and then this lady, my seller, her previous tenant that had like rented there before was like, oh, I want to buy it. Like he just like wanted to buy it and like, and she didn't like exclude him in the paperwork or anything. Like, so like he was just like a buyer. It's just a normal buyer. It didn't matter that he was a tenant anymore because she didn't exclude him on any of the paperwork. So she was like, oh, like, I don't remember his name, like Matt or something. Matt wants to buy it. Like he just told me he wants to buy it. And I was just like, okay, well, we had already had another offer in, like we had another offer already. So I was like, okay, well, we have an offer in full asking price right now. So if he wants it, like he needs to come cash, like he has to come cash. So he ended up coming cash, full $5,000 over asking, full cash. And with that, you don't have to do an appraisal. So when a sale is cash, there's no appraisal done. So mind you, this house was selling probably $100,000 over the appraised value. So if I would have got it appraised, it would have fell through. You know what I'm saying? So, and the other people's offer was like a mortgage. Like they weren't using cash. It would have got appraised. It would have fell through. We would have had to, you know, do some adjustments. But since this price was cash, no appraisal, it went right through, no problems at all. Everything went super smooth because I was, you know, maintaining the seller relationship and the buyer relationship. It was super difficult doing both at the same time because you have different duties to different parties. Like the seller was my client, the buyer was my customer, and I keep those two roles separate. But while I was like in the midst of the transaction, like I was feeling a lot of like doubt from my boss and like people around me at my office, like kind of feeling like I wasn't ready to double-side a transaction. And I like, obviously that made me like feel bad. Like I didn't like, I expect people to like discourage me and say like, they didn't think I was gonna be able to like pull it off. And then like last week before the transaction, like is supposed to close, they're like, oh, did you schedule your smoke inspection? Did you schedule your water reading? Mind you, there's an assistant at the office that's supposed to schedule both. They didn't schedule them for me. So they're like, they didn't schedule them for me and they're supposed to. So there's 2 things I need to schedule within like a 4-day notice of the closing. So mind you, those things are usually scheduled over a month in advance because it's hard to get them in. Like there's not that many people doing fire inspections, water readings. So I pulled like every single string I had in Fairhaven to get those 2 appointments done before the closing. I got it done, it sold, and I got double commission. So
there you go.
I was super proud of myself because at one point during the transaction, like when people were like trying to like get me down on myself, like I started to get down on myself and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, is this too much? Like, I feel like I'm too young. Like realtors that have been doing it for 20 years haven't done a double-sided transaction. Like it was just lucky like that it happened to me. And like, I definitely was worried and I definitely like was overwhelmed and stressed out. But like the day it closed and like the day I got that check out, like, and my seller was super happy and the buyer was happy and like everybody was just happy. And I was so happy. So like
That's
that was
awesome.
definitely my proudest moment.
That's so cool. That is like really awesome.
I know that was, yeah, but they're not all like that. But that was definitely a really good one.
That's awesome. And what do you think is like the hardest part about selling a home? Even the hardest and the best part, like what are both for you?
Mm, the hardest part of selling a home. I mean, it's a broad question.
Right.
Like there's like different aspects. So like there's the hard part of like selling a home to a client. There's a hard part of like being in the midst of the transaction and getting through all the obstacles that come up. There's like countless hard things that I don't even know. And then I don't know. That's a good question. What's the hardest part? Maybe like overall, the hardest part is keeping your composure. Because like
All right.
you get very, very stressed over the entire course of the transaction. Like, I mean, there's some transactions that go off without a hitch and they're so smooth and like nothing has to be dealt with. You barely have to communicate. It's just paperwork and that's it. Like those are awesome, but those are like 1 in a million. Like
Right.
every transaction has at least 1 or 2 problems that you have to, iron out. And in the whole process, you want to make sure either whether you're working with the buyer or the seller that they don't have to stress about it. They don't have to worry about it. It's your job to, get all these things in order and make sure everything goes off without a hitch. So yeah, I would say probably just like the problem solving aspect of the transaction is probably the hardest part because like as a young adult and realtor, there's so much I'm still learning that I'm not aware of. And like, I don't know how to fix all the problems. I don't know how to solve them. I don't know all the resolutions. So it's like sometimes like finding the right resources that I need and like trying to connect myself with people that can help me out, whether I'm getting an old expired water heater out of a basement by a company called Tank Yanker. Like I did that like last week, or whether I'm trying to make sure a lien against a property is like subsided. Like it literally is different for every single house. And it's just like, you can never know enough, honestly. So yeah, I would say just like the problem solving, but once you solve the problem, like you feel so like on top of the world. Like
That's awesome.
I don't know. Like, like last week, I was like one of my houses, the heat wasn't working, and I'm like, why the hell is the heat not working? Like, what's happening? Like, it's so cold. I have guests checking in here. What's happening? I like go outside. The propane's empty. I'm like, okay, like, all right, well, I can't fix that. I definitely can't fix that. So like, I like get on the phone. I'm calling like all these like 24/7 like emergency gas companies, like whatever. And like within like an hour, I had one refilling the tank, and I was like, yes, like. And the guest was checking in like 40 minutes, and I was like, yes.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, I think it's just like the stress. The stress is the hardest part. Like you have to be able to be someone that's like not consumed with like stress. Like if you get one stressful thing, you can't dwell on it because there's like 5 more things that are about to happen in the next hour, and you have to be ready to have to deal with those things. So it's like if you can't deal with more than one thing at the same time, like good luck. You need to multitask. That's I guess that learning how to multitask.
Yeah.
That's like I could be like at a showing, just finished writing an offer, another offer just fell through. Oh my God. Someone's smoke inspection just failed. My Airbnb guest is complaining that the fridge is dirty. Like all within it, like everything. And you're just like, okay, well, what's of most importance? Like you have to focus on things that are the most important. Like, okay, like I'll get to this first, then I'll get to that, then I'll get to this, then I'll get to that, then I'll get to that. Like then you go over to your other hand.
Yeah. Of course. And then the next hour, it all happens all over again.
Yeah. No, it's stressful, but like I said, it's so worth it. I love it, honestly. Like there's days that I'm like, oh my God, like, am I gonna make it today? And like, I always make it. So like,
of course.
I think I'm gonna keep doing that.
That's awesome. Because it's also like rewarding at the end of the day.
So rewarding. That's my favorite part. Like, I know you didn't ask me my favorite part, but like my favorite part of being a realtor is like absolutely seeing. Especially, I mean, I like helping sellers and buyers, but like my buyers, like seeing them like so happy when they finally are signing their closing papers and like all said and done, especially if they're first time home buyers and like it's their first family home. Like, it's like the smiles on their face, like the overall positive like vibe you're getting from them at that point because they feel so relieved and they're so proud of themselves for reaching that milestone and like you got to help them get there. It feels so good. Like it gives you like such a natural high where like you just don't know, you just like you want to just keep selling houses. Like it's like it could be an addiction.
Sounds about right.
Could be an addiction.
That's awesome. Do you have any like last minute advice, last minute stories you want to tell? Anything before we kind of close out?
I don't know. I would just say like my advice for all young people is just like be patient with yourself. Like everyone's timeline is different. Like you can't look at Instagram, you can't look at your friends and be like, "Oh, well like they're there, they're getting their house. Like why am I not ready to buy my house?" Or like even if it's not a house, even if it's something smaller than that, like you have to be really patient with yourself and be committed. Like focus on you, focus on your goals, map them out. Like I always tell people like being able to visualize things is so important to like the end game. Like
Yeah.
if your goal, I mean, I guess we're pretty much only talking about houses. So like if your goal is a house and like you desire a home by 25 years old and you're 20 years old right now, make a 5-year plan. Like sit down, make a 5-year plan, map it out, make it realistic for yourself, your lifestyle, how much you can save a month, how much you can save a week, and then go from there. Like you can't look at other people. Keep your mind on tunnel vision when you're focused on your goals. Because if you look to your left or to your left or to your right, you're gonna focus on other people and like their life. It doesn't matter to yours. Like they might be getting their house, they might be getting their car, but like it doesn't matter. Like it's all in due time. Like you need to worry about yourself. Be patient. Don't be greedy. Live within your means. That is like my number one advice. Live within your means. Yes, you might be able to be qualified to purchase, like I said, a Mercedes Benz. You might be able to do that with your current job situation, bank statements, and credit. But is that the best option? Is having a $500 car payment plus insuring a Mercedes, is that worth it? Do you want to do that so that you're going to be wasting all that money paying basically like a freaking mortgage payment on a car?
Yeah.
Is that worth it to do just to, show off and be flashy? Or does it make more sense to put away that $700 a month and drive your Toyota Camry until it can't drive no more, and have that $700 a month times 12 for 3-4 more years and use all that money you saved and buy a house? I don't know. I just like I always tell people to live within their means, because like it like irks my soul when I know people are like struggling when like they're barely paying their bills, barely getting by, and they're out here like partying at the club and like going to Miami for the weekend, like being crazy. And it's just like I try not to worry about other people, but like I'm like worried for them.
Yes.
Like I really don't care what they're doing, and like power to them if that's what they want to live with their life like. But like I'd be like worried for your future.
No, literally. That is the whole point of this podcast. I'm like talking to my friends. I'm like, oh, you did not know that? How? Like,
yeah, like I'm worried for our generation's future, honestly. And I say that like all the time just because people like they're so consumed with like being like the it girl or the it guy on social media, and like having the cool car and the cool clothes and like the shoes and whatever. Like that all will come.
It will.
Like, you need to be patient. Like rock those Vans, rock that Toyota Camry until you can't no more. Like why are you trying to impress other people? It's your life. Like
we're literally 20.
Like I always tell people, like, I'm not trying to impress other people. I'm trying to impress myself, because my standards for myself are so high. So it's like, if I can impress myself at the end of the day, like, I know I'm doing it. Like, I know I'm doing a good job, because like, I don't care about what other people think of me. Like, cool. What are you thinking about? Like, why are you even thinking about me? Like, I don't know.
Yes.
Like, it's, I don't know. People just need to stay in their own lane, live within their means, and be patient. That's it. That's my final words.
That is beautiful. Piece of artwork.
Right? Just a little quote for y'all.
That's awesome. No, thank you so much for, first of all, everything that you gave to us today. I mean, absolutely priceless.
Thanks. I'm so happy I was able to share it with you guys.
Oh, of course. I definitely need to have you back on, because this was so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. If you ever have any like other topics you want to like dabble in, like starting a business, or like having employees, or like getting your business compliant with the state that you live in. Yeah, it's like
you're like, I've gone through it all, so please.
Yeah, it's a lot to go through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm more than happy to do this again. So if you ever interested, just let me know and we'll find a time like we did today. My Instagram for real estate is at justsoldbyjan. My personal Instagram is Jan McGregor _. My Instagram for Clean Queens is __clean queens __. You can find me on Facebook with pretty much all the same things. Just Sold by Jan on Facebook, Clean Queens LLC on Facebook, or just Jim McGregor for my personal. And that's pretty much all the social media I utilize.
I hope you all enjoyed today's episode as much as I did. As usual, it was absolutely amazing. And if you took notes, please send them to me, okay? I hope you guys absolutely loved it though, and really did learn a thing or two, because like I said at the beginning in the intro, this is the prime example of things we need to be learning. So I was so excited to do this episode, especially for Money March. This is actually one of the main reasons why I wanted to do Money March, was for this specific topic. So please share with all of your friends, with all of your families, with all of the first-time buyers you know are going to be coming up soon. Guys, people are out here. People are getting engaged, getting married, having children. We are growing the fuck up. Who let us do this? Who let us grow up like this? It's absolutely nuts. But of course, I'm here as always to help you guys grow into your potential. No, I'm not ending the episode yet, but that is my job, and it really has been a blast for these, 22 episodes. I've had an amazing time. So as usual, if you want to keep supporting us on our podcast journey, which I would absolutely love, please check out all of our social medias at The Adult Algorithm, except for Twitter. It's adult_algorithm. Yes. And again, if anyone is good at Twitter, please, if you're listening, if anyone is good at Twitter, I need your help. Because I say it every episode. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna excel in Twitter soon. No, I need help, guys. Please reach out, okay? And if you have any new ideas, fun topics, fun, monthly topics, please let me know. Reach out, DM me. I'd love to hear them. And as usual, if you want to leave a review, of course, I would love that as well. All of your feedback is great feedback. I love constructive criticism and absolutely need it, because that's what you need to grow. And as usual, I will see you all next week to help you grow into your potential. This is Jasmine with The Adult Algorithm signing off. Bye.